Welcome ladies and gentlemen to this Age of Empires 4 build order tutorial for the Ottomans, and we're going to go for a Dark Age rush into Fast Castle here. We're going to start off with queuing up villagers from our town centre, of course, taking our scout out and about to find as many sheep as possible. And from the 6 villagers you start off with, 5 of them will go off to the stone mine. You don't build a stone mining camp, you just gather 50 stone and come back to the town centre, and the remaining last villager goes to Straggler Tree. New villagers from the town centre will go to sheep. And once these villagers have mined the stone, they're going to come back to the town centre, drop off that stone, and then go to Straggler Tree. I'm actually going to hop into the town centre to cut off some time. The way you do that is you drop off the stone, you click those villagers to go to the Straggler Tree, and then you click the town centre to make them go inside. Press D, and then they'll pop out the other side. Take one of those villagers before they do start Straggler Tree to build a house, and one to build the military school, and then those 2 builder villagers will go to sheep. So the idea is that when you build something in this build order, they go to sheep. And that really leaves you back with 4 villagers on Straggler Tree, as you can see. I'm going to kind of group 2 of them to go to the lumber camp afterwards, once that Straggler Tree has been taken, and the other 2 to go to gold and build a mining camp. We're only going to take that 1 Straggler Tree in total, so once that Straggler Tree has expired, those villagers go off to do the other things. And now that the military school is up and running, we're going to kind of waypoint our military school forwards, and we're going to do one last swoop of sheep with our scout. And once the scouts come back to the town centre, drop off some more sheep, we're going to take him all the way across to the opponent's base to find out where we can target for our spearmen. Now we can see our market there not in a great position for trade, so we are going to go with the twin minaret madrasa for the berries. So that's something to bear in consideration about the landmark you'll choose. We will probably look to always use the twin minaret madrasa anyway for the fast castle build, just because you want that uptime to be nice and quick. Drop off the sheep, scouts go forward, and as you can see, those 2 villagers are going to lumber camp from the Straggler Tree, and the other 2 have gone to the gold. New villagers, as we said from the beginning, all coming into sheep. We're going to aim for 10 on sheep in total, and then we'll tackle that when we get there, once you've reached 10 on sheep. So we'll keep scouting. We want to see what our opponent is up to, where we can target. And really the idea about the Dark Age rush and the spearmen is just to delay your opponent and harass them a little bit. Now, it may not be all that useful if you're up against the English or perhaps the Mongols even. But otherwise, really, spearman opening is quite a nice opening. And you can even sometimes consider kind of coupling this with an outpost rush. I mean, outposts have been nerfed recently, so they have 750 HP rather than 1000, and they're a lot longer to build. I tend to avoid it in Dark Age rushes into fast castle builds, so we're not going to go for the outpost rush here today. So we've got 10 villagers on food, so the next villager from the town centre will go to gold. That'll make 3 villagers on gold. Spearmen coming forward, and we're just looping around to see where our opponent's resources are. Ideally, you want to target their gold if you can. And if their gold position is at the back, you may have to swoop around a little bit. And now they've got 3 villagers on gold. The new villagers from the town centre will be going to wood until we have the resources to age up. Of course, to age up, we'll need 400 food and 200 gold. And we're almost there. So we're going to force drop off a little bit here and then start building our landmark. So just so that you guys are aware, this is the point where I actually divulge into either going for fast castle or 2 town centres. So if you want to see the 2 town centre build with the drush, then it's worth checking out on the YouTube channel. The beginning part is exactly the same as it is up to now, but let's focus on the fast castle. So we've got up to 4 villagers on wood. Those 4 villagers are going to go to gold now, and of course we're building the landmark with 3 villagers from gold that were there originally. And what we'll do then is we're going to get the next 2 villagers from the town centre that spawn to go to gold to make 10 on food and 6 on gold. Of course, now we're going to be working with our scout, finding as many sheep, getting as much scouting intel of the map as possible, and very importantly, we're going to use our spearmen to try and harass our opponent, keep them pegged back, keep them at home, because we don't actually have any villagers on wood right now. And so if you do find that your opponent's going to be aggressive himself or herself, then you will think about actually transitioning some villagers back onto wood to maybe get some outposts, and maybe think about adapting that way. But if you are doing well as we are here, then just continue with the build. We're up to 6 villagers on gold now, so the next villagers are all going to go to food until we get 20 on food. So the next 10 villagers effectively are on food. And the last villager that went to gold, they'll build a house, in fact 2 houses, just to make sure that we don't get population blocked. And so at this point, because all the new villagers are going to go to food, we have some time to breathe and focus on attacking our opponent, harassing them as much as possible. And so what we're expecting to do is before we have the resources to age up, we will be essentially getting about 20 villagers on food and 6 villagers on gold. We've got 5 villagers on gold at the moment because one is building the house. And so don't worry, that will work its way out, that's for sure. And when we do get to the castle age, we're going to be spending our vizier point on getting those 2 free imams to gather the relics. Really important, so that's why we don't actually go for wheelbarrow in this build until after we have got the landmark placed for the castle age. Because we want to get to that castle age as soon as possible, grab those relics, set us up very nicely for the mid to late game if the castle age rush doesn't work in killing our opponent, which it probably won't in the higher levels. And there we are. We're going to use our first vizier point on Anatolian Hills to get sheep, just to make sure we have enough food underneath the town centre. But when we do age up to the next age, castle age that is, we will actually have enough for another vizier point and get those 2 free imams. Just so you know that the villagers that were building the landmark, those 3 villagers actually go to the berries that are there. So they don't have to do anything. They build the landmark. They go straight to the berries. And as you can see, we're building up the number of spearmen quite nicely here. And this is probably going to force your opponent into archers. And so it gets them delaying their economy just a little bit. And hopefully you shouldn't be punished too badly for going for the castle age. Yeah, this is very much the build. I really like going for Dark Age rushes because it kind of forces your opponent to change their build order if they're trying to focus on one. And the Ottomans are very good like that. You get free units. All these spearmen are absolutely free right now. I'm going to take this moment just to say that if you are interested in PDF versions of my build orders, I do have them on the channel. Do click on the video description. I'll give you some information there. It is really mostly for channel members just to make sure things are as a perk for them, really, to make things a bit smoother for them. But we've got 20 on food now, so we're going to start thinking about force dropping our gold and food as we do there nicely. And we're going to take 6 villagers off of the food to build our castle age landmark, which will be the Mehmed Imperial Armory. And that will give us our siege engines for free. New villagers from the town centre will go to food. And we're going to take the villagers off of food to go to wood until we have only 6 villagers on food. So that's what we want to do. Just keep 6 villagers on food. We've got 5 villagers on gold. We're going to take 1 villager off of gold to wood as well, by the way. So all the villagers off of food until you get 6 on food to wood, and take 1 off gold to wood as well. And so we're going to be hitting 10 on wood roughly now and as well. So we're going to get new villagers to wood, and we're going to be getting our wheelbarrow when we can afford it. But we're going to need to build a house first, so do that first with a villager from wood. As you can see, we're just doing right there now, and then we'll prioritize wheelbarrow. Once you've got about 10 to 11, usually 11 villagers on wood, when you can anticipate dropping your stable or your barracks, whichever you want to do. But I tend to go for stable. We want that mobility. Then get the new villagers from the town centre to actually do that. You want to start building that building as soon as you can, because you want to make sure it's ready to pump out those knights when you get to the castle age. So we've got 12 on wood, and we're going to get the next villager coming out from town centre, as you can see there, to build that stable. Keep our scout right up front just to give some information as to what's going on. I'm going to get the next villager from the town centre to come out forward towards that stable as well, because we want another stable, and we want to build a blacksmith rather as well, because the blacksmith actually increases the rate of production of those production buildings. So that's super important. Base building is very important with the Ottomans, and we're about to hit the castle age. We've got wheelbarrow on the way. Mangonel is going to be coming out of that in Mehmed Imperial Armory. We're getting the imams, and that's going to get us well on the way to getting our relics. Now we're going to take villagers off of wood to go to gold. We want to leave about 4 villagers on wood to just supply our economy with wood that we might need. So 4 on wood, and the rest from wood go to gold, and new villagers from the town centre go to food. And so that completes this build order guide. I hope you guys enjoyed it and find it useful. If you did want to see that 2 town centre build, click on the right hand screen. Now take care and see you next time.